information space of Ukraine has been recently engulfed by the evil and hatred towards the ongoing All-Ukrainian Cross Procession for Peace, Love and Unification, organized by the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Social networks and even journalist publications are filled with rhetoric which urges at best to forbid the cross procession, or at worst, to hang, crucify or shoot its participants. Shoot them all! However, it's no secret that behind the names and pseudonyms available in the Facebook, out of the sight, there can often be sick people and citizens with psychic disorders, with special needs, so to say, whereas one should treat such Ukrainians with consideration and empathy. Unbalanced state and absurd declarations of plenty of public and respected figures raise eyebrows. Such persons are particularly numerous in the pool of parliamentary members. If to be specific, then headline-grabbing statements which condemn the event of cross-procession in behalf of peace, love and unity, by the strange coincidence, were voiced by the elected officials who initiated just a month ago an address of the deputies to the head of ecumenical patriarchate on granting autocephaly for the Ukrainian Church. So far, 3 out of these 6 deputies have made statements regarding the All-Ukrainian Cross Procession: Andrei Parubi, Andrei Levus and Viktor Yelensky. It might seem these people who advocate the unity of Ukrainian Orthodoxy are supposed to welcome all Ukrainian cross procession, one of its goals being consolidation of all Ukrainians. Yet the rhetoric of Orthodox unity makers, who by this strange coincidence turned out Eastern Rite Catholics, that is Uniates, is not at all peacekeeping. Let's begin with Viktor Yelensky, who, owing to his media involvement in the church-related issues, has earned the reputation of the next-to-none religious pundit in the country. In his fiery speech in the Verkhovna Rada about all-Ukrainian cross-procession, Mr. Yelensky reiterated one of the popular claims towards its organizers. If this cross-procession is called to pray for peace, why doesn't it appeal to its Kremlin masters and Kremlin walls, where the threat for the peace in Ukraine and the whole world comes from? Well, perhaps Uniat Yelensky might not know that prayer of Orthodox people, unlike meeting of politicians, is always addressed to God rather than walls, cities, idols, since what is impossible for a human is possible for God. What is surprising, though, Archbishop of the Kiev Patriarchate Evstrati Zarya literally repeats political claims of the MP and religious expert. Head of the parliament Andrei Parubi shoots somewhat different bullet points. He reports that a 3-week all-Ukrainian cross procession along the roads of western and eastern Ukraine is set to arouse provocations in Kiev. Apart from truly peaceful believers, there are provocateurs in the procession with forbidden extremist insignia and that of the aggressor state. In the same spirit gives his standpoint Parubi's press secretary, in the recent past head of the press office of the Kiev Patriarchate, Andrei Kovalyov. They are carrying fascist Russian insignia, Russian flags. In Kharkov there were spotted DNR and Novorussia flags. Echoes him Andrei Levus, against whom a criminal procedure has been initiated for defamation. However, Mr. Levus doesn't worry about this fact. In the interview with the president-owned 5th channel, Levus asserts that under the guise of cross-procession, illegal paramilitary forces are moving towards Kiev. Operational headquarters of the Ukrainian National Security and Defense Council should develop a clear-cut strategy, a position concerning filtration of illegal paramilitary groups heading towards Kiev. Some coterie journalists, like for example representatives of the 5th channel, even specify the nature of the threat, in particular Roman Chaika, who couldn't care less about the reputation of the president of Ukraine, whose channel he works for, produces an on-air killing argument. One of our fighters, Igor Greg, places this photo on his page in the Facebook and writes 2 soldiers from Special Forces of the 21st Separate Brigade of the Western Ukrainian Detached Military Intelligence Division are freely going to Kiev. Tellingly, the journalist of the president-owned channel did not even bother to verify the information before it went on air. This is an ordinary fake that stinks. The Ukrainian army's fighter with the name Igor Greg does not exist in real life. The epithets which the journalists dare use in live broadcasts with regard to the biggest Orthodox denomination in the country are affecting. Apparently, the expressions like cerebrum orthodoxy and bull-like people are a part of the routine practice for Petro Poroshenko's servants. We are sure that skin-headed bull-like young people with royal mats look really heavy as opposed to these old ladies with cerebrum orthodoxy. As a piece of evidence of the use of forbidden anti-Ukrainian insignia in the cross procession, to be demonstrated by all channels, internet resources and media pundits, is just one photo of St. George ribbon, which was allegedly taken in Kharkov among the cross participants, though the only doubtful picture, as well as the fact that neither of the participants encountered any ribbons or other political symbols, allows for conclusion about the use of Photoshop or the photo being pre-arranged and provocative. Claims to the Orthodox regarding the carried icons of Nikolai II look bizarre altogether, since the Tsar was canonized by the Church as a martyr over 35 years ago. Scandal? For sure, given that every day there is a photo and video coverage of the All-Ukrainian Cross Procession, where one cannot spot at all any Russian flags, DNR, fascist insignia or Pskov troopers. Anybody can make sure there is nothing of the sort. Furthermore, all the law enforcers unanimously affirm they keep their fingers on the pulse and there have been no offences committed so far. It was reported by the chair of the National Security Service of Ukraine, Yuri Thandit, as well as advisors to the MIA ministers Zoryan Shkiryak, Anton Gerashchenko. Head of the Kiev police, Andrei Krishchenko, announced, as if it were addressed to the Fifth Channel, that there are no Pskov troopers in the cross procession columns. We have complete information about the persons who participate in the procession. So far, there haven't been noticed any troopers or a big number of men with athletic build there. The procession consists of women, mature men, who are on a pilgrimage journey on the occasion of such festivity as the Rus christening. Finally, the MIA minister Sanavakov personally crossed all T's and dotted all I's as regards all these violent tantrums around the cross procession. You have expressed your fears that there are Titushkas who will purportedly come and overthrow the current power in Kiev and establish the Moscow rule under Nikolai II. This is nonsense imposed by politically biased people who play on religious things, and there is no way we will accept it. Although Ukrainian law enforcement authorities gave their opinion on this matter quite clearly and definitely, falsehood, manipulations and irrational hatreds with respect to the cross procession have been unleashed and are gaining momentum in the society. As a result, there are declarations made by some local deputies, functionaries and civil organizations about prohibition of the procession in their populated areas. We demand to prohibit this cross procession. This is not a religion but a political action. In Borispol, which is a cross point of one of the procession columns, on 13th of July there was a general meeting of deputies, the mayor, political parties and the general public. They adopted an address of Borispol community on prohibition of the cross procession in the city. The reason is obvious: fake statements. As we can see, turmoil in Zhytomyr and Borispol can serve as a classic illustration to how effectively media propaganda, even though blatant and false, is able to affect immature minds and how easily it can lead to anticipated outcomes. Borispol activists have no scruples even about the fact that their address is separatist in essence, for in the event of approving the decision on prohibiting the cross procession, this region will no longer comply with the fundamental law of Ukraine, Constitution. It ensures rights of Ukrainians to freely confess their religion as well as to peaceful assemblies. Nor do these juridical trifles raise concern with other activists, haranguers at the information platform of the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center, among founders of which are Inter Alia, the European Foundation for Democracy Support, the embassies of the USA and the Netherlands, and other organizations well known for their democratic principles. They insist on forbidding the cross procession in Kiev. Quite democratic, isn't it? We will request the executive power bodies to prohibit the procession. You will not leave Kiev alive. You are the ones to pray to alien God, Moscow God. You are not our friends. We bear you like a dog bears fleas. The position of activists is conventionally explained. There are enemies in the cross procession. Several individuals who are inside the procession and walking along the highway are representatives of Russia's intelligence agencies. Taking into account that by the time Ptah spoke in the public, the myth of Pskov troopers had been dispelled, it's hard to guess who actually he meant. Perhaps 6 militaries from the 95th Brigade who took part in the battles for Donetsk airport. Despite a unanimous conclusion of the law enforcement leaders of Ukraine and plenty of experts, this activist persists with an idea that the cross procession is moving towards Kiev with a view to seizing power. We aren't sure about that these people will not try to carry out a takeover in the capital of Ukraine. But what is most paradoxical about all this, the right sector is openly pulling its fighters in to allegedly counteract the cross procession. Hereby, certain MPs openly announce there will be a military coup in Kiev. They evaluate in a business-like manner the potential of these or those military groups.
Те, що в нас є такі сили, це факт.
It's a fact we have such forces. We have forces capable of the military coup. This is my colleague who set up Azov battalion. It is a powerful, structured and foremost ideological organization that can handle it. And we shouldn't forget about the right sector. You think they pose no threat of such kind at the moment? Why not? It's possible. There can be scenarios. Paradoxical, though, two members of the parliament are talking about the military coup threat and add to that certain forces that are seriously armed and stuffed with thousands of fighters with hands-on experience. However, the information space of Ukraine is utterly calm. Nobody writes outspoken publications, nobody organizes a range of press conferences and talk shows with preoccupied experts who, based on just one doubtful photo of St. George ribbon and a fake post in social media, would seriously discuss the coup threat posed by the participants of the Orthodox cross procession, whose hardcore is made up of pious elderly women, old men and families with children.